Yeah, good morning. This is Bang Bang Ray Hill. Please press the like button and subscribe. Yeah, I just come back from having a little walk. I got caught in that storm, mate. It was stormy, but it wasn't that bad there. But I come back. I was absolutely drowning. So I had a quick shower and changed. Anyway, yeah. Before we get into the part of going to the court, standing bail for me and this, that, and the other, we go back to the fighting. With Jimmy Tippett and all that. So, I mean, I fought Kevin Paddock and I fought Sid. I mean, I drew with both of them. And then Kevin Paddock fought Roy Shaw. Roy Shaw beat him, and then he fought Lenny and beat Lenny, yeah. But a couple of times, I used to go to shows with Jimmy Tippett, yeah. I used to go to boxing shows. Not so much Harvey's, not so much Downham Tavern. I've been there a couple of times. Other shows, and go to Rainbow and all out North London. That's where that lot used to go fight. Yeah, and I sometimes go there and see Lenny there sitting down there marking off books and all this that. And I never really said anything to him, and just watched all the time. As you do as a fighter, you're looking at everybody, thinking, well, yeah, I'll fight him, or whatever it's going to be. I used to say to Jimmy, I'll fight anybody. At that time, I didn't give a monkey's who it was, you know what I mean? It was because there's only two people at that time, was any cop as such, yeah? That was Lenny and Roy Shaw. I think Lou Yates, but he wasn't around. I only found out about Lou Yates about, 10 months ago. I was doing his podcast, so I didn't know that he was about at that time. I knew, clubs and all that game, I've been told, but not fighting-wise, as on the unlicensed fighting. Anyway, there were some good fighters, but Roy and Lenny had the limelight of it all. They were writing books and bits and pieces like that, and they got in at the right time. They both had good managers, so it was all. To have what the people I had, Bessie Lenny McLean. I mean, come on, he had Frankie Warren around him, Frankie Warren, look at him now. Frankie Warren has got a gift of the gab, but he can talk. He knows the right people. He puts himself there. He always puts himself there, yeah. The only thing that guts me is that we started really, me and him at the same time. Maybe he may be a year in front of me, and then I had my own promotions, And I'm going to talk a little bit about that now. And I'll come back to West London. I used to work with a guy called Bob Coleman. He had a big company called Octopus Productions that they used to do big scenery sets, and big thing for the politics and big sets for politicians and all this and all that. We used to go around the Gulf. I've been to Helsinki, putting up these sets and all that, But I worked with Bob for quite some time. He had a scenery set place, and he also has houses where we used to do conversion work, knocking walls down here and there, digging out gardens and all that. And I used to work with a guy called Danny Williams. Me and Danny, very close, mate. We was like brothers. We were stuck together all the time. Love Danny, mate, but I ruined our friendship up as an arsehole I am. But anyway, me and him was very close, yeah. We'd fight always back to back, force fight, me and Danny. It was no one used to bother us, you know what I mean? I was a little amateur. I had quite a few fights as an amateur, a lot of fights as an amateur, you know what I mean? And so I was always running around with track suits on, always. Anyway, when I come back to Acton, I got on a Bob Coleman. He was living at Ruislip at that time. He had a big company in Ruislip, living around the corner. So I got on the Bob. I said, listen, Bob, I said, just come from Lewisham, North London, fighting. He said, I know that way, everyone knows about it, mate. I said, look, it's me and you do our own promotions, Bob. But at that time, I was sort of like right into really keep which unbelievable, keep myself fit so much. It was like a 24/7 thing, you know what I mean? Wake up in the morning, go to a run, come back, have a sleep, get up, do a floor workout, sit ups, everything. Go back to bed for a bit of time, get up, go down the gym, do weights and all that, and then go back and have another kick, and then come out and do boxing. It's all time. It's all done for like ages. Fit. I said, look, I want to get into this fighting thing, promotions, own promotions, Bob. You know, he went, yeah. He said, yeah. I said, it's really good. I said, it's all in North London. In North London, they're doing it. Up East London, they're doing it, and we're not even on the map. West London don't come into it, you know. There's only me who went over to them places and boxed, and I'm doing unlicensed fighting, no one else. And he went, yeah, no, I'm proud of you, mate. I said, look, let's get into unlicensed fighting. So we did, and but at that time, I told you, I was very, very fit, always training, and went to Ely Broadway, and I was looking at a big place called Buffalo's Warehouse. There's carpets, yeah, but they was closing down. It was to let. So I said to Bob, do you know what, Bob? We should get into a gym, do a gym, yeah, because I think it's going to kick off. Listen, mate, it's crazy. I'm on about 1980, you know what I mean? 80s, 81s, around about that time, yeah. And really, gyms ain't really kicked off, mate. And do you know what? I was a fool. Bob said, nah, it's not going to kick off yet. Look at it now. There's gyms. Ealing Broadway's about 5 gyms there, you know what I mean? Massive gyms. I got in at the right time, wrong time with him, really. I should have found someone else who was more into it than he was, yeah. But I was gutted. If I'd have been with a guy now that I'm with now, Terry, we'd have definitely done that. Got a big gym, you know, because that's the game now, isn't it? Gymnasiums, all this cardio stuff, all the machines. You know, I was a fool. I was an absolute idiot, you know. But anyway, we all had them little things we can do, we don't do, and they kick off, yeah. So anyway, I decided to do this with Bob Coleman, do my own fights, unlicensed fights. So we decided to go to Acton Town Hall because it's local, middle. Acton, I go West London, and so I went to the council and said, can we hire the hall? And Acton Town Hall was always used for wrestling and professional boxing. So, I mean, we went there and asked, and I said, yes, you can, but paid our fees and this, that, and the other. So it was then called, his name is Bob Coleman, right? My name is Hill, so we called it Hillman Promotions. Good Bob Bab. Right, we called it Hillman Promotions. Bob Coleman, Ray Hill, Hillman Promotions. And it was that kicks off, you know what I mean? So, first one, got hired the people who do the rings. I met them in South East London, over by Buckhurst, not Brockley, over Brockley, who put rings up. Forget the guy's name. He now does big professional rings, yeah? But he come from over that way. And this is when we all first started, mate, 1980s. And anyway, they put the ring up, cost a silly amount of money, and that's when we started. I went down to the fruit market, got hold of Colin Cracknell, and I said, oh, Colin, how you going, mate? He was so pleased to see me, you know what I mean? Well done, mate, you're doing loads of people in the market. I mean, there's thousands of people in the market, you know what I mean? And I should imagine, say there's 1,000 people in that fruit market, I should think there's 99.9% of them can have a right fight. It seems to be what markets are all about, yeah? So I said, look, I've just had my own promotions. I'm doing my own promotions. And he couldn't believe it. You know, he said, oh, well done, mate. You know what I mean? So I said, look, do you fancy fighting me? He went, yeah, no problem. You know, I said, look, I'll give you X amount of tickets. That's your fee. That's what you're going to get. You know, that's what you're going to get, mate. So to me, we wasn't really into earning much money in the first one. Just about letting people see that we had our own promotions, yeah. He sold out, Colin. He sold out, unbelievable. And then he come back for more tickets. I said, look, these other tickets are my money, yeah, Cole. You can take a little bit out of it, but it's my money, yeah. He went, okay. He done another 1,000. It was packed, jam-packed. Listen, it was wall-to-wall packed, solid, in Acton Town Hall. Massive, packed, really packed. Upstairs, downstairs, everywhere, right? And really, a really good show, mate. And I thought, I didn't fight Colin this one. I fought Colin the second one, but Colin still had all the tickets and sold, because I was going to fight Colin, but it didn't come to that. Either I couldn't do it or he couldn't. Something happened. And I've got this other guy to come down. I forget this guy's name. a big guy, powerful guy. He lost, I won. It's my show, innit? So he lost, I won, and I had about another 6 or 7 people. I think Colombo, Steve Ritchie's fault, Chippendale fault. There was a few people. Peter Smith fault. Not John Leslie McIntyre. Oh, my brother-in-law, Perry. There's about 8, 9 fighters there. So it was about 18 people that fought. Yeah. So we paid them X amount of money each person, win or lose. Yeah. It doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? So it's my first show, I just want to kick it off, yeah? We have a good setup. We get, I think we get, what, 600-700 quid? It's not a lot of money, but it's your first show, yeah? And it was in the papers, Acting Gazette, big thing in the paper. I was so pleased with it, mate. I mean, it was one of the things that just kicked off, yeah? I went, yes, mate, this is it, yeah? So after that, I went back to Lewisham, to meet Jimmy Tippett, and had more fights in Lewisham around there. I wasn't even living in Lewisham. You know, I was living in West London. No, tell a lie, I was living down Shepherd's Bush at the time, in a flat around there, but I was going to Lewisham every day with Jimmy, doing what we was doing the enforcer work. With Cliff Fields and all that, and I've always done this on my podcast. This is just a quick about things that have happened in my life, yeah. So me and Jimmy do lots of enforcer work, get lots of money back for Billy Haywood, Harry Haywood, Eddie Richardson. Met a guy called Johnny Critterton. Johnny Critterton was, I think, governor of all travellers. Gypsy Johnny Critterton. Everybody around there was really giving a lot of respects. He's another one who's to talk like that, or boy, hey can. But the funny thing about Johnny Critterton, his house was absolutely fantastic. But Johnny Critterton never used a toilet in the house. I'm on about never used a toilet in the house. He used to poo outside, go with a shovel it, but put it way outside and all that. I couldn't believe it. It was disgusting, mate. It's like how he lived here. This house was absolutely massive house. Cut the 3 mil. And anyway, at that time as well, you know what I mean? So, me and John become very close. John got me to do lots of enforcer work with Jimmy Tippett. Go and see travellers and other people and always having fights and wows. And then we got involved with Cliff because it was too much for me as such, really, because when I used to go to some of the sites and pick money up, no, you got to fight. You know, you're involved in travellers. They don't want to hand over money. All they want to do is have a fight, like lock, stock, two smoky barrels, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? And you always meet 1 or 2 that want to have a fight with you. So I couldn't, you know, all the time fighting, mate, and it became to the stage that I needed someone with me. Yeah. So Cliff came with us. Cliff Fields, good name. When we went to sites, a lot of people knew him. It's Cliff fucking Fields, what fuck is he? All that sort of thing, you know what I mean? And a couple of guys that come unstuck wanted to fight Cliff, and Cliff bashed them right up, yeah. But you know, not really bashed them up, but knocked some spark out. You know, couple of seconds, all over. And we always got what we got. We always went there for our money and got it. So with big respect for Cliff Fields, rest in peace, mucker. And I loved him to death, mate. He was my pal. With Jimmy Tippett, rest in peace, mate. Good people, you know what I mean? And Cliff was always sitting in the front of the car, and I couldn't even see the traffic. He was a big man, Cliff. Anyway, so like after that, I asked Cliff if he wants to get involved with the fights in Ealing. He didn't want to get involved in that, mate. He said, nah, I'm not interested, right? You know what I mean? Come on, mate. Anyway, as I say, I've got Danny Chippendale, I've got Colombo, I've got Paul Fitzgerald, it's quite a load from around our manor, yeah, that I forget. Sorry, mate, names. I'm not very good at names, yeah. I always forget. Good at photographs, but no good at names, yeah. And anyway, them people always fought for me. They always got good money, always paid them well. I didn't ever cheat their money. they got what they got, yeah. And so I'm going back to Lewisham and going with Jimmy Tippett, and I'm going. I like to go to the fights. Love going to the fights, mate. I love going to all the unlicensed fighting, just to go in there, you know, and you're walking about, sitting down, and people go, "Oh, Ray, how you going, mate? Bang, bang, how you going, mate?" All that sort of thing. When you're fighting, you're going to fight Lenny, and I go, "Well, you know, I'm not yet," and all this, that, and the other. And then one day, Jimmy got hold of Frankie Warren and said, "Look, how about giving Ray a chance with Lenny?" And then Cliff said, "Yeah." Frankie Warren said, "Yeah," put me on the posters and everything, yeah, to fight. And I went down, and then he never showed up. And then I think it might be Vic, I don't know, Vic Andretti, I don't know, maybe it could have been Frankie Warren, I don't know, maybe at that time he didn't want no Len. Come on, fight. I mean, it'd been a really, who wants to have a fight? It's going to be really hard, you know what I mean? And it would have been a hard fight, mate. Yeah. Not saying that I'd have beat him or knocked him out. Yes, I am saying I could have beat him or knocked him out. It was that sort of thing, you know. I was like very good at what I did. I could have been a good pro, you know what I mean? And a good pro will always beat an unlicensed fighter. Will always beat a fighter, mate. If I showed that, a good pro will always beat a fighter. So, I mean, as I say, I used to go to the shows, and I used to get up in the ring and always have a walk around the ring. And what I used to like, you know, when I used to fight, there's to play that record called for cats. I still love it, mate. Running down the thing, yeah, getting in the ring and fighting. I still love that, yeah. I was always very fit, 100%, not 99% fit, 100% fit. That is what I did. That is my game, innit? You've got to keep yourself well for what you're fighting. So anyway, I'm doing bits and pieces with Jimmy Tippett. I'm doing bits and pieces with Cliff Fields. Jimmy comes round my place in Brookbank Road, and Jimmy was always coming out. He's like young Jimmy for watches. He loved to watch, old man. I mean, he'd always come around with different sorts of watches. Nothing Tissots and all them sort of things. I think Tissot watch and Rolex, not Timexes and Omegas and all them sort of things. Nothing really expensive at that time, yeah, just a mediocre watch, yeah. And they just give me him, Jim. Yeah, mate, it's a watch, it's this, is that. And he's always come around with presents. He always have a boot load of something, like cutlery. And he always had something, Jim. There's always something to sell. He loved selling things. I mean, that was in the 80s, mate. That's what it was about. The end of the 80s, beginning of the 80s, 81, 82, around about them. It was all about that. It was all about people getting things like blankets, sheets, overcoats, jumpers, shirts, pots and pans, kettles, cups and saucers, all them sorts of loads of food. You know, I mean, crazy, mate, crazy. But it was always, Jimmy always had something in the boot of his car to sell. That's why I love Jimmy. Jimmy was a getter. And anytime we used to go to any spill, around his area, Deptford, Capital Woolies, all around there, right? Jimmy Tippett, Lee High Road, all around there, right? Jimmy Tippett was well respected. He would walk in there, and Jimmy was always laughing. He always had a grin on his face, and he'd always muck about shadow boxing and all this. He'd always do it. He couldn't help it. You know, what, bang, bang. You know, he'd always fuck about throwing punches. You know, and I loved him for that. You know, I loved him for that. And when he talked, I mean, he put his hands on the thing, and he talked a lot of his hands. You know, bomb. You know, and I loved him, man. I loved him. I really did love him. And when I sort of eventually we've done all this unlicensed fighting and done a lot of this in the enforcer work and bits like that, you know. People like Terry Coombs, Terry Sharp. I mean, Terry Sharp. Me and Terry. There's a pub at the bottom of Lee High Road, right? I think it was called the Red Lion or the Red Bull, something like that. I forget what it was called. The guy in there was my promoter. He promoted me, right? He'd buy me he not promoter. What do you call it? Anyway, he bought me. He bought me all stuff. He bought me track suits. He bought me overcoats. He bought me jackets. He bought me hats. He bought me everything you possibly want. He'd buy me. He loved me to death, mate. He'd buy me anything I want. I'd go there one day, as I told you. You always get plenty of stuff. He said, "Want an overcoat?" And he'd get an overcoat, a beautiful overcoat. Want a jacket? Want a suit? Want this? Want trousers? Want this? And and my dressing gown was bang bang rail at the back, and it was proper, mate. And no, the name of his pub was on the back. That's it. And the name of his pub was on the back of the tracksuit with bang bang rail underneath it. Yeah. I think he was a great guy. And this guy really, really liked me. Anything that I wanted, he'd get me, yeah. And Terry Sharp would always be there, Terry, and that's where we used to do all the what's it, getting together for the fights, yeah, in that pub. Paul Fitzgerald, I remember Paul Fitzgerald really well. I mean, I see a photograph the other day, and Ray Bishop. Ray Bishop he's known Ray Bishop Scaffolder, yeah. He said he's a mate of Paul Fitzgerald, and when I see a picture of Paul Fitzgerald with no hair, I couldn't believe it, because Paul Fitzgerald used to have curly hair, big thick curly hair coming like that, and really good fighter. I think it was about middleweight, super middleweight, something like that. Nice fella, can really fight, Paul. I'll see he's on the video called Box On, Paul Fitzgerald. I really liked him, Paul. Know him really, really well. He used to always train. He was a fit geezer, Paul Fitzgerald, mate. Fit man. I've asked Ray Bishop to try and get hold of him. I love to talk to Paul. I'll be going back a long way. When you ain't seen someone for a long time that you used to fight with, and I remember seeing him down, because I had a good, at that time, sorry, money knows everything, mate. So at that time, I think I've got a cold now, being out that fucking Maine. So at that time, I was really up and coming, I was going to be I thought I was going to be the one. Everybody respected me. Everybody used to talk about Ray Hill, Bang Bang Hill and all that, yeah. And I met Paul Fitzgerald down Leo at the bottom of the Road, and we was talking, and that, I think that's about the last time I see Paul. I think I see him. I'm sure he boxed with me at Acton Channel. The second. Let me tell you about the second show at Acton Channel. So the first one, Colin sold loads of tickets, but he didn't fight, or I didn't try. Something happened. I fought, but something happened, right? The second one, me and Colin had loads of tickets. People went mad to see me and Colin fight. And I was going to the food market, everyone went, why, and I was sitting young, because me and Colin, as kids, not as me as a kid, but him as a man, used to fight in the market, one bag, glove, nothing on your hand, just fight. Sorry, I've got a cold. I've got a cold coming, man. Getting out in that rain, am I mad or what? Anyway, so me and Colin decided to fight, yeah? And this is the second fight. I've got a cold, man, coming, isn't it? Oh, no. Sorry about that. Oh, my God. Anyway, so me and Colin are going to fight. He's got the tickets, he's sold out. And I'm going to the food market. Everybody's on me. Go on, mate. You know how it is. Go on, mate. Go on this, go on that. People don't like Colin. Really don't like him, because Colin's in the market. He's a bit of a bully, yeah. He don't stop fighting. Oh, no, he don't stop fighting, mate. He fights every day. Woo! He fights every day, 7 days a week. He will fight, Colin. And he knew how to fight. And big respect to him, mate. When he walked down the market, he was all that bowling, like a Marvin Herbert thing. Big bowling down there, boom, boom, boom. The bib on, the cap, the Dr. Martens was bouncing about, calling Gwen Groceries over and all that game. And they're giving him money for them doing his motors, tidying the motors up and all that. Colin was a good businessman. I mean, if you bought from Northsides or anywhere like that, Market Sales, any Phillips's, any big company, and they deliver to Colin's, they delivered to the green grocers. So Colin was helping out to tie his motors up. He made all them porters stack the gear up proper on the motor. They had to stack it up proper. Colin got paid for that, but Colin would tell them, stack it up proper, do that stack, this stack, 3 stack, 5 stack, 7, all them sorts of things. Got them at it, you know what I mean? And anyway, me and Colin, as I say, in the market, used to fight so much, toe to toe. He learned me a hell of a lot about fighting. He used to always smash my face up. I mean, to fight him maybe 5 days a week, I always get cut up. It's like it is today, really. Like bare knuckle fights with bandages, but we didn't have bandages, we had bare fists and a bare glove, yeah. So I learned a lot of Colin. I got a lot of cuts, I got a lot of bruises. After a while, believe it or not, it's crazy that you can take a punch, that you learn to take it, mate. You know, and I could take punches like it's come out of fashion. It really could, you know. And I love my fighting. I just loved it. And when me and Colin, Colin had a thing about this woman that worked in a cafe across the road. She didn't work it. Her husband owned it, yeah, Greek or Turkish, something like that. He owned it, but she worked it, yeah, but she was the owner as such, yeah, with the old man. And she was pretty as anything, mate, really pretty. And Colin had a thing about it, you know what I mean? Colin would touch her up and he'd take the piss, mate. The old geezer who was with her was a lot older than her, and he'd have a go at Colin, and Colin had a go at him, and there was a guy behind the counter, a young, good-looking Greek guy, looked as if maybe he could have a fight, you know what I mean? And he'd always say, don't be doing that and all this, you know what I mean? Do you like that? Well done that? Good, isn't it? Anyway, the language. Anyway, Collins shut him up. All of a sudden, the other fella, who Collins mucking up, who was the governor, he's come out to stab Colin with a fork. I'm blowing up his Durex for a laugh. But he's come out with a fork, a meat fork, one of them big meat forks, yeah, to stab Colin. He sees me with his Durex blowing his feet, and he's come to stab, and I turned around, and he went straight through my hand, mate. He went straight through my knuckle, look. He went straight through my knuckle, split my knuckles in half, he went straight through. Pulled this thing out my knuckles, right, and I couldn't close it together. And I was in a bad way, mate. I was in a bad way. You imagine fighting as well, you know what I mean? And then I had to go to Mount Vernon Hospital, and plastic, because I couldn't even move my hand. See the doctor, went to the hospital. They told me I've got to go to Mount Vernon Plastic Surgery Hospital. Went there, and they put plastic tendons in my knuckles, yeah? I was in a bad way. And to lose all that, but then I had my boxing shows. But before this is after it happened, yeah? But before, I had my boxing shows with Colin in Acton Channel. There was about, 10, 12 fights in there. Packed. And me and Colin got in the ring. Everybody wanted to see Colin bashed up. Everybody, I swear to God, everybody that went there wanted to see Colin bashed up. No one liked him. And come out the first round. Well, Colin Cracknell, I've got pictures on I might put it on now, I don't know yet. Colin Cracknell hit me with a right hand. Come out, wallop. He nearly knocked my fucking head off. Honestly, it really rocked it, mate. I shook my head. Wow. Now I know he wants to really show me up, yeah? It's a fight, isn't it? I mean, I'm not going to say, he's not like, okay, mate, I'll take it easy and all that. So he wants to fight. He wants to bash me up, doesn't he? So as I say, he's hit me on the chin, he's really hurt me, yeah? And I'm thinking, right, this guy wants a proper fight. So going around the ring, hit a few punches with him, and then he come across again and hit me on the chin again. This time, my legs went wobbles, yeah? I went, he's saying, I don't like this at all. He could fight, Colin, you know, well, fighting, if you're fighting every day, it's 5 days, 6 days a week, you learn to fight properly, you learn to, you know, think. So he threw a punch at me, but as he threw a punch at me, I got pulled him to pull me and crash. He was smaller than me, Colin. I nutted him right on top of the head here, yeah. I nutted him, mate. He fell to the floor. It was like, must have been it, like a big sledgehammer, you know what I mean? The size of me and the power of my neck and everything. Wallop. He jumped out of the ring and started saying, I ain't having none of that. You know, I said, get in here and do the same. He said, oh, fucking kick. Anyway, I said, get in here then, fight me. And then he said, no, and he sort of, the referee man told me back. It's all the thing, hold me back, the ref. All the audience were going mad, Colin. People was Colin going mad at me, shouting outside, get in the ring. I said, get in, come on, get in, fight me, you know, and shouting and screaming at him. And no one wanted to get in the ring. You know, I was gone mad, you know, I jumped out the ring, want to fight everybody, as you do. It's all a show, innit? But it wasn't a show on a night, mate. Don't know about that. He really hurt me, Colin Cracknell. And then I went to the change room and see Colin in there. And I said, Colin, look, mate, that's what it is. He said, you're out of order. And all that and other. Me and him had, no one really knows about that too much, but me and him had a little fight in the dressing room. And got him around the neck and then he strangled him there. But anyway, that was finished, yeah. Me and Colin didn't fight after that ever again. I went down, I used to go down the fruit market a lot like then because I beat him, you know what I mean? And he gave up, and I was always happy about that. And when I got down the market, everybody loved me. I wasn't a bully, I was just a nice young kid that could have a fight, you know? Well, he could have a fight, no matter that, he hurt me big time, yeah? And me and him become mates, yeah? Me and Colin, mates, and he was a good. I've got to say, but everybody in that fruit market, they was all good business people, you know, all the porters, the salesmen, everybody in there was good business people, and a lot of them had their own houses, their own businesses, and all that, yeah. I mean, what's his name? The Wellses, Billy Wells, by Kew Bridge. If you go towards Brentford Market, you'll see a place on the right hand side that sells army stuff. All army stuff is outside the shop. That was Billy Wells's. But as you go over Kew Bridge, on the left hand side you see loads of shops and flats above it. Billy Wells owns all that. Billy Wells owns most of that place where his shop is, along the Brentford bit there. Billy Wells was multed up, mate. Multed up. When he died, Billy Wells, what, 6'4"? All ex-fighters, and all worked in the fruit market, mate. There was Bill, there was George, there was Tommy, there was Elfie, there was Arthur. There's another couple, but they're all ex-fighters, and all of them did work in the market at one time. They're all really as brothers, mate. You don't need 5 or 6 brothers who can all fight. Just take over, don't they? So they just rule the roost, yeah. So Colin Cracknell, all jokes aside, he'd never ever messed about with them. He'd always, you know, yeah, all that going on the lister. On his things, all the things he'd start up. He'd always go by him and they'd look at him and wank him off and all that sort of thing, you know what I mean? But Colin knew that that was the trouble with that fruit market. I mean, there's porters in there, mate, that was proper hard people in that fruit market. I mean, you had people like Derek Pearce. I mean, I loved old Derek. I mean, Derek Pearce, I loved himself. He was always up Chiswick High Street. He'd walk up and down there 30 times. Good body, good looking guy, brilliant teeth, up and down looking for a young girl, yeah? Young girls, not young girls, but, you know, girls. and they'd always get them, and he'd always, and he was married, you know what I mean? But always up and down Chisholm High Street, and everyone knew him. I was told he's still up there today, and all that, and I mean, he's got to be 80, 75, 76, something like that. He's always doing the same thing now, even. But good-looking guy, to everybody, and can have a right fight. And no one who's can have a right fight. I mean, I was to spar with him down at Hamwall Community Centre, me and Dirk Pierce. We used to do a lot of running around Gumtree Park. We used to go around there maybe every day, every morning, early mornings when I ran Gumtree Park. And after that, we used to go down to Hamwall, when the market would be finished, you go to Hamwall Community Centre and do a lot of sparring over there, yeah? And I was always bashing him up, Derek. I mean, I'm really good in the ring. Jab, bang, bang. And I move around the ring quite fast, yeah? Anyway, me and him used to run around Gumtree Park nearly every morning, run around there, mate, and go back to the market and finish our work. Colin, I loved him. Colin Cracknell, I loved him. Dirk Pierce, I loved, yeah? Then you had the Welleses, and you had the Willses. And you had Johnny Wells, Ray Wells. I mean, Johnny Wells, God rest in peace, Johnny Wells. He just died. He died about a week ago. He was one of my mates. Me and him used to go out to the boathouse, to the Castle, Richmond, Cheeky Pizzas, and all around these different clubs, and fight. I mean, I'm about, honestly, you're young kids, but you're fighting all the time. You know what I mean? Crazy, it's fighting. And we used to fight a hell of a lot. And John was stick by me like that, mate. He was like, never leave your side. He didn't give a monkeys, and he could have a fight. Someone told me he bashed up Connie Cracknell twice, I'm not quite sure, but he could have a fight. So Johnny Wells is another one. Ray Wells, his brother, he lives on the Isle of Wight. Ray ain't no fool. Ray can have a fight as well. Ray Wells can have a fight. His other brother, I forget his name, you know, but he can have a fight also, you know. And all them Wellses, Johnny Wells, Ray Wells, and anyway, the other brother, they can have a little fight. But Ray and John can fight march on a bit. They're no fools, yeah. I keep saying I'm going to go and see Ray. He's on the Isle of Wight. I'm going to go over there one day and see him because my mate's got the boat. We always cross the water. Anyway, and then he got Terry Woods, mate. Terry Woods, blonde fella. Good looking, mate. He shouldn't have worked in the market. He should have been a film star. Terry Woods, he could fight, mate. He was a proper fighter, mate. Well, not so much a fighter, boxer. Tall, good looking, jab, right, bang. And he had it together. Listen to me. Terry Woods, when he put it together, Him and Colin used to fight every day, but mucking about fighting. But Colin could never get nowhere near Terry. As Colin to fight, punch it, Terry, whoop, Terry, whoop, and hook him, and all that uppercuts and all that. He was really good, mate, Terry was. And I loved him, Terry. I worked for Terry. He works at Dean's, I think it's Dean's, inside the market, in the close east side. He worked for Dean's. I worked with Dean's for about, a year in there. Me and Colin, anyway, me and Terry Woods. Then you had one of my Coley friends, Martin Worsfold. Let me say about Martin Worsfold, mate. Martin Worsfold was like a god. He was like a god. He had a body like a god, ripped to fucking pieces, mate. Arms, massive arms. He used to work for the potato growers, yeah? Massive arms, frying the potatoes up like nothing, yeah? And he used to drive his massive grumpy Lister, big ones with the gears on the top. Him, Colin, I swear to God, out of them two, I'd never ever had a fight. I don't know. Because them two was always loggerheads. 24/7, them two was always loggerheads, looking at each other, gonna fight each other every day, mate. Every day in that market, them two would want to fight. Honestly, mad. One jump off the lister. The other one would F him off and all this that and the other. And anyway, but they never did. But he was my co-defendant. But he was strong, powerful, dangerous man, yeah? Then you had the Collinses. You had Philip Collins. You had Wacker Collins. You had Bobby Collins. Listen, mate, let me tell you about the Collinses. They weren't fighting, mate. Philip was always miserable, mate, Philip. But he wasn't a fool, mate. Good looking guy, got a lovely wife called Val, got a young boy now who's a fighter. His son does MMA fighting. I forget his name. Good fighter. He trains 24/7, this young kid. He's in that Collins region. Collins was fighting family. They're all travelling families. Big family. Used to live down a place called Devonshire Road. Devonshire Road and Chiswick High Street. Let's me tell you something. Devonshire Road, Chiswick High Street was a really one of the places that it's got a history of a fighting street road, yeah. Devonshire Road was all fighters down there, mate. And you go down there, you get a couple of pieces, running roads, running places, yeah. And they used to live down there, all the Collins. And Bobby Collins, he used to work for a bloke called Strong. Strong used to be a greengrocer, not a greengrocer, a porter years ago. Big man, glasses, but he was the strongest porter ever in the foot markets. All the markets. Strong, big, powerful man. Jewish, strong. He used to pick up a barrow, a big barrow, not just the barrow, pick it up, turn it over, hold it down, turn it over. Mate, that's virtually impossible. And pick a barrow above his head and press it, Skeezer was powerful as anything. And stack up big stacks of things, but he had Bobby Collins working for him, yeah? Bobby Collins was as mad as they come. He used to love cars, yeah? He used to do things to cars that you'd never think of, yeah? Put the gear things in them, make them crazy, mad, like fucking racing cars. Change the engines. Me and Bobby Collins go back a long way. We used to me and him, I remember one day me and him was in Richmond. Went to the castle and we come out of the castle, a little bit of trouble in the castle. Just outside the castle was a Wimpy bar, yeah? And we used to always go there, and I used to always, well not always, how can be always, I used to, them days it was like tonic mohair suits, gold and blue tonic mohair suits, Prince of Wales check suits, hats, beautiful shoes, stuff from the Irish shop Richmond, Ben Sherman's shirt. It was all American stuff, yeah. They all looked very smart in them days, yeah. So anyway, I really loved the fruit market, loved it. And so we go down the castle, me, Bobby, Wacker, Philip, a few other people, Johnny Wells, all of us, yeah, have a really proper night out, yeah. I remember this particular time, me and him are down the market, the castle Richmond. We come out there to go to the Wimpy bar. There's me, Bobby, Wacker, I think, a few of us, Bobby, Johnny Wells, and I had this Prince of Wales check suit on, an hat, Trauby hat, and I think it was a wedding we went to, and a carnation. Looked smart, mate, crisp, yeah. Standing outside while someone went in there, got me Wimpy, and there was these three guys said, "Who's this guy think he is? A fucking clown." Mate, what do you think you are? You look like a clown, mate. Taking the piss out of me. I said to Bobby, Bobby said, "Leave it, mate," and they started shouting him out for Bobby as well. So, also I said, hold that, Bobby, hold my drink. I had a milkshake, so I love strawberry milkshakes, yeah. So give him my milkshake, walked over to the guys. I stood in the middle of three of them, yeah. And also, I could hear Bobby saying, no, leave it to way I saw you. Mate, I swear, I knocked two of them out. And I kicked one up his groin. I knocked two of them out with two punches. White cross, left hook, bang! Down they went, and Bobby went, God, fuck me. You could never, ever get in a phone box with Ray Hill. You could never get in a phone box with Ray Hill because you'd come out dead. And it's true. I could fight, mate. You got in the phone box with me, mate, you're in trouble, you know what I mean? Anyway, so me, Bobby, and I and all that was just drinking our drinks and walked across the road to get a train home. No, sorry, walked across the road to get in Bobby's car. He's taking us to another club. As we're walking across the road, the guys, they just had to knock some spark out. They got in the car and come at me, Bobby, all of us, right, together, drove straight at us. I swear, man, he drove straight at us and moved out of the way. It went through the shop. It went for crash, it smashed the shop to pieces. He reversed up his geezer and boom, tried to hit us again, but it shot down the road. By the time he gets to the car, they're gone. They're gone, mate, you know. So Bobby's saying to me, I mean, we've got to find them, mate, you know what I mean? So we're driving all around Ham, all around Kingston, everywhere looking for these guys. We really got these guys, mate, we really hurt them because they wanted to kill us, you know what I mean? But didn't ever find them. Might have seen them another time in the castle. A couple of times I've been to the castle and we've had a rouse in the castle. We've had to get out of there by the skin of our teeth, yeah. Where my mate would have trouble with women in there. Oh. But the fruit market was the place to be, yeah. Was the place to be. As I said, my co-defendant, Martin Worsfold, I should imagine was one of the governors in the market. You had another guy in the market called Ginger Carlisle, yeah. Ginger Carlisle was a quiet man, powerful, red hair, and he could fight, mate. And I reckon that he could bash Colin up. But them two was always as loggerheads, always wanking each other off and everything. Always. Ginger Carlisle was really mugging Colin off lots of times, yeah. Colin never took the bait. Ginger Carlisle had a thing what he used to do, and I've never seen him do it, but he used to, I've seen Colin do it, but Ginger Carlisle used to just trick Colin. If you had a row with you in a pub, if you've got a pint of beer, one of them old mugs, you know, the old mugs, or glass, whack, and you choke it up, hit the bottom of it, bang! Hit the bottom of it and smash all your nose or your teeth. Just ruin you, you know what I mean? And that was Ginger Carlisle's game, yeah? And he was a vicious person, yeah? I'd say there was a guy in there called Peter Parker. I called him Piggy Parker. Blonde fella, went with my sister Dinah. I used to help Piggy Parker. The reason I call him Piggy Parker, he had a big pig farm, yeah? Massive pigs. Massive fucking pigs. Fighting the life out of me. He had a sow there. This sow was about 4 foot high, mate. I'm not joking. Right, huge, mate. No, not 4, 3 foot. Massive, mate. It'd kill you. All right. And one day, he's let loose. He come in, try to get in, hold all the sows, smash the fucking place to pieces. We got him out, yeah. We got him out, but he ran me, mate, and he knocked me up in the air and knocked me spark out. This sow, I swear, man, he knocked me spark out. He must have well, anyway. Peter Parker pulled me away from the sow. He hit the sow with a bit of it. Otherwise, the sow would have done some damage to me, yeah. But Peter Parker was a good-looking guy, and he got involved with my sister Dinah. And I said, look, I don't want you to get involved with my sister. Anybody from the fruit market, I don't want to get involved with my sister, leave it out, yeah. But he did. But then, evidently, he made her pregnant. I'm not quite sure, but he did. And she was in a bad way, my sister. I think she had an abortion, I'm not quite sure. But she was in a bad way, and Peter Parker, I'm not quite sure if she had the child or whatever, my sister. My sister was a good, beautiful woman, mate. My sister was really, really beautiful, Dinah. Fucking hell, mate. She was stunning, mate, stunning. Long, black, just stunning, beautiful, yeah. Horsey woman, but really, really attractive, really pretty, beautiful. And Peter took the piss. Didn't get in contact with her, didn't really care, wasn't bothered about me. Oh, okay. I went to where he was working, the stand he was working at. I walked in there, mate. I smashed him to pieces. I held this fucking thing in my hand, like this money thing in my hand. I smashed his to pieces. I broke his jaw. I fractured his nose. I've done all his ribs. I ripped him to pieces, mate. You want to fuck about my sister? I ripped him to pieces. He would never, ever again do that, mate. Never, ever do that again. And when it's your family, you go crazy, you know. My sister went mad at me because she really loved him. But you don't take the piss out of my family, you know. So I really battered him, big time, really, really bad. I thought it was to get nicked. He never called the police, but the people that worked in the stands, I thought they was going to do it, yeah, but they never did, yeah. It was left. The place, the foot market, made fighters. It made good fighters. All markets make good fighters. All markets, people that work in there become good business people in food markets and meat markets and fish markets and all these markets. They all become good business people and very hard people. And me, I was just crazy where I should have went, fuck it, you know, just stick with the market rather than get myself a ball stool, get a YP, go over to Lewisham and fight over there, yeah. But I never regret that. I never regret going over there and meeting my mate Jimmy Tippett, rest in peace, Jimmy, my old mucker. I never regret that. I met some really, really good people, mate. People, very dangerous people. Eddie Richardson, Charlie Richardson. I've seen Charlie a couple of times. Gone in the house with his little dogs, little white dogs, little poodle things. And, you know, and I like Charlie. I liked Eddie. Eddie was a proper hard man, mate. I mean, when I met him, he named sort of 80 times. Big man, powerful man, yeah? And powerful, big, powerful man. Yeah, could have it, yeah? But when they had that bit of trouble in Smiths with Billy Haywards and Jimmy Tippett and all that firm, I was told that after that bit of trouble they had with Eddie Richardson and Charlie, which just went downhill. I think, I'm not quite sure if Eddie got put away for that. I'm not quite sure, or Charlie got put away for that. I'm not quite sure. It was a big turnout, mate. I believe after that, the Haywards took over that side. They was all close, you know. I mean, very close to each other, but that's how firms are, isn't it? They're always close to each other. You always find that, yeah. Firms, it's one of the things that happen. But I loved all that Lewisham lot. I mean, I love Jimmy Tippett. Some good people, mate. Some good people. I learned a lot about unlicensed fighting. I would love to go back to that game, but not now. Then being put in prison for a big time, you know, and then coming out, mate, and gutted really, because look at Lenny McLean, look at Roy Shaw. Lenny made a couple of films, got involved with films, Lock, Stock, Two Smoky Barrels, a couple of other films. Done books, they sold 1 million copies a book. when he died, Lenny, rest in peace, Lenny McLean, he was a millionaire, mate. You know, he was a millionaire when he died. You know, it made him all that. And I'm gutted for the guy, you know what I mean? The guy deserved that. He put a lot into it. He got a lot of respect from people. Everybody was petrified of him. He got in at the right time. Nice guy like that, business-wise, yeah? But anyway, he got involved with, I think it was with the clubs as well, didn't he? Bouncing in all the clubs. Mickey Theo, got involved with Mickey Theo. Mickey Theo's a bodybuilder, big bodybuilder, little guy, but powerful, very, very strong. I think he also maybe give Lenny steroids. Was he involved with Reds Park or someone? Lenny, I'm not quite sure. I've heard little names mentioned, other bodybuilders. But as I say, Mickey Theo was a big, powerful man. He also was on the door with Lenny. He did say that he'd had a few rounds with Lenny, and Lenny McLean smashed him up, broke his nose or something, or broke his jaw, or smashed his ribs up. Lenny could have it. He wasn't a fool. He had a lot of respect. A lot of people, so many people petrified Lenny McLean, mate. He petrified people, yeah. He really did. I mean, as I say, I got put back in prison for a big sentence, yeah. I come out, it all really finished then. Not finished, but they'd all done what they got to do. I didn't want to get involved with all that shit. I just wanted other things and earn more money, yeah, and which I did. But in a way, I'm sorry that I didn't stick with what I was doing at that time. You know, everybody loved me, and I was good at what I did. I was always down the pro gyms. I was always at the boxing shows. I just loved it, yeah. I'm gutted really that the way things have turned out. The way things have turned out now is good for me, yeah. Because I'm doing my book. I've got lots of other things I want to do. We all want to help kids out. Kids are very important for us, all of us, yeah. All us people that do these podcasts, and most of the people that do these podcasts have ruined their lives in certain ways, yeah. We all want to better our lives. We all want to help kids out, make sure kids don't fall into the same traps we did, yeah. And let kids see what we're saying. We're not making big things of us. We don't want to let kids. Well, kids will see, but in the end of it, mate, what we get out of it is not a lot. I'm lucky that I'm writing a book, yeah. All the bad things I've done in my life, I'm now thinking it's time for me to better myself and to try and help people out by telling them the stories of my life and what happens at the end of it, yeah? Because the end results are not good, mate. The end results are not good. It's always a bad thing with the end results, yeah? You can't beat the system. The system's there to break you, and it does break you. It really broke me. It nearly killed me in prison at certain times. I did pull through it because of my strength, my power. I was a big, powerful man. You know, if you're 20 odd stone, mate, 19, 20 stone, and you know, and at the end of getting a beating, you're on at 9 stone. It just goes to show you, mate, that, you know, I pulled through it because of my strength. If I was 9 stone at that time, I'd have died. I'd have died, mate. I'd have died, but I was a big man, and I pulled through it okay. And but then I went back again, like a fool. I went back for this time IPP, you know, and I'm still on licence, yeah. I've done 20 years, mate. 10 years in, 10 years out on licence. 20 years IPP. It's crazy that to do 20 years. Come on, mate. I ain't killed no one. I'm an IPP. Anyway, I'm trying to get off of it now. It's about time. Anyway, look, I'm going to finish this. I've got a little bit. I'm going to do a little one in a minute. Well, not in a minute, in an hour, about drugs and about bits and pieces like that. Yeah. So this is Bang Bang Radio. Please press the like button and subscribe, and have a nice day. Yeah. Bye bye. Nice one.